But Jeff, thank you so much for having us, brother.
Yeah, dude. Glad you're here, man. We'll do it quick, like Gary V, like in and out time, you know?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Me.
So, Jeff, there is a lot of people know you, but they don't know who you are, you know? So how you introduce yourself?
So I'll say it this way. I'm a child of God. Literally, the Lord is working through me like never before. I rededicated my business to the Lord when everything got wiped to zero. I don't even, I told you this. And when I was in Colombia, Medellin, I went to pay one of my guys, Ken, and I had no money in my account. And I prayed to God. I said, God, am I supposed to be doing this? Because a little bit ago, I was at a conference called Grow for God with Glenn Lundy, and actually even the man, Grant Cardone, was there. He flew in on his jet to go speak for him, and they were doing worship music, and I prayed, and I said, God, I'm not Tony Robbins, I'm not Grant Cardone, if I should start this consulting business, let me know. And a pastor tapped me on the shoulder and said, God hears you, the answer is yes. So I sold my 4-unit, moved to Miami. But I'm 100% child of God using it.
What years was that?
What?
What year?
Shoot, what year was that, Glenn? That had to be, I had 2 people sitting on me, and everybody was forcing me to do this, and I was too scared to do it, go out on my own. I had a nice cushy window business. It had to be 2019. It was before COVID or after COVID?
I think in the COVID time.
COVID, yeah. Yeah, but it was before COVID. I think it was before COVID, actually.
Yeah, that's powerful. This one I moved to Miami in 2019 too. That's crazy.
Oh, okay, really? Yeah.
That's really crazy.
So because COVID was, I didn't know when COVID was.
The end of COVID, in the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020, I think. That's when COVID happened. So, bro, there is a lot of people, like, I mean, everybody see the glory, but they don't know the story, right? I'm the one who already inspired by your story when you was talking about your brother and the love that you have. And I mean, I love your relationship with God too. And it's something that's inspired because I feel like there is a lot of people forget about it when they have money or when they get to the point that they've been working for. I like that about it. So what is the story? Tell us the story, brother.
Yeah, so very similar. Those who don't know, 2016 was the year. August, I don't even know what, sometime in August. My older brother actually lived down here in Boca. You know Boca?
Yeah, of course.
So he lived in Boca. He had kind of wife, kids, and he moved to Connecticut. I was teaching behavioral middle school kids at the time.
Right.
I taught video editing. I was in the coding class there. I taught behavioral middle school kids, loved it, making like 28, 30K a year. And my brother said, Jeff, come build a business with me. He's like, you're a business guy, let's build a business. So it's just kind of like this. We had, there was like a coffee cup and he's like, let's build a coffee shop music studio. So he talked me into it. I said, okay, Jay, I'll do it. We wrote it on. 2 days later, I go to wake him up to get a haircut. Actually, I always think of him every time I go to get a haircut. When he didn't wake up, he died on drugs, fentanyl. Older brother, gave him CPR. And yeah, man, that was it. And then I decided that I'd build a coffee shop right here in Miami in honor of him. And if you help enough people get where they want, you get to where you want. And that's what you're watching, you know?
Man, I mean, I'm sorry for your loss, brother. But I believe that like you're doing what you're supposed to do after. I think everybody has a time when they get shocked, when they have to be awake. They have they have to change and shift all their life. Do you think that the time when you decide to I have to do something different, I have to grow?
Well, yeah, we connected on some call, and anybody who's not following this guy, follow this guy. You have such a great heart. You have a story. You lost your brother too, right? Or something,
yeah, right? It was 2017.
Yeah, so it's
2012 actually. 2012, that's when that's happened. 2012.
Yeah, so you know how it is, and everybody loses somebody at some time in life, like we all do, and it's just it's part of it. It's like the story that people sometimes say, my dad was an alcoholic, this, that, that's why I wound up a deadbeat.
Right.
And I watched my mom pass away when I was in 1999, before Y2K, to breast cancer with no life insurance. And I watched what it did to my dad, and my dad tanked for a long time. And so when my brother passed away, you know how they have the 12 stages of grief, where it's anger, everything has to be bound in a steering wheel. And then it gets to remembrance. And I just went right down the last one. And I've always done stuff kind of fast and took action. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go build the franchise in honor of him. And I didn't know anything about business. So that's why I started going to all these masterminds and events, just sharing my story and trying to figure out how I could do this,
Right. I mean, I really agree on that part. I think something has to happen in people's life to just to wake up and start their own journey. So what that teach you though? Like what you learned from this? Like I know it's hard experience, but what the lesson you think was like behind all this?
Yeah, so no, that's a great question. I know that the lesson was that like inspire others always. Like my older brother, I tell a story, probably not enough. We went to Dunkin' Donuts. You know Dunkin' Donuts?
Yeah, of course.
Went there one day, and there was a lot of stuff going on with his wife, his kids, and he was just going through a lot more than probably any of us, right? Right now, at least he was. And he was trying to talk. My brother was very charismatic, more so than me, more talented than me. And he's trying to talk to the guy at Dunkin' Donuts, and the guy just didn't care, right? And I watched him like get so mad because he was just trying to talk to him. He was a Dunkin' Donuts worker, right? But he took it so personally because he was very reactive. He was hurt, right? And there's a belief that people care, people don't care. Yeah. And I believe people care, and I find the people. But if he didn't believe people cared enough, so he found the people who didn't care, and it kept getting negative. So my whole mission after that became to inspire others always, to show them the side that people care. So that way they will be, and that's what Kokomo Jays will become. Just like what Changing Life Consulting and what I do with marketing consulting in our firm, it's really just showing people to inspire others always that your story matters. What matters, that can change lives. Like we all come from certain things, and if you actually share your story, you know, because that's at the end of the day, that's really all I do is help people tell their story, because it was so important for me, like in therapy, to tell mine, because I was going so nuts with what happened to my brother that if I didn't say it, I would have went like crazy, you know?
No, I agree with that, but I think like this is a lot of trauma, man. Like when you go through this hard time. As a man, especially, we don't put it out. Like there is a lot of people, they just keep it in. They hold it inside of them, and I feel like they take it with them into the relationship, to the business, to their kids, even like to their personal conversation. You feel like as you said, they're too tough on themselves, too tough outside, and the anger is always there. How did you heal yourself, man? Like what you did to go through? Like,
so have you ever gone to therapy or no?
I did a life coaching. I went to a doctor, but I mean, not to therapy, but he gave me
so I think everybody should go to therapy. I think it's good. I think Christian therapy is the best because it's based on biblical principles and they don't psycho babble. And I went to therapy 4 times when I got suicidal, right? I didn't want to live. I was at the middle school and the HR girl was threatening to fire me. And then they gave me 4 free therapy sessions. And I went, just like we're sitting down, I downloaded on this lady. And, she basically wanted to med me up, right? ADHD, right? And it wasn't bad though. Like even then, it was an outlet. All she did, like I wanted my problem solved. She just let you listen, right? And the important point on why anybody should be that what you do to heal any trauma thing is you share it. But you share from like you don't share from a wound like an Eeyore where you're like hurt, right? And like, oh, poor me, this happened to me. You share it in a way like, it's the belief, you know, life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you.
That's great.
So that whole belief though, that like Tony Robbins said or whatever, is exactly true, that, okay, this happened for me. God's plan is perfect for me. Like you really, and it's so hard because so many people get so mad at God in times like this, but literally like, if you read the book in the Bible about Job, you know, the Lord took everything away from Job and still Job believed in him. And there's still so many things like that. And there's the whole, the verse, like, there's a verse in John 3:30, he must increase and I must decrease, okay? And it's very key that like if you really, like, and I'm right now, the Lord's working in me in a totally different way. Like totally, when you saw me then, I rededicated my business to him, so I'm getting stronger in what I know my God-given gift is, right? And there was another guy, I'll tell you this story, this is what I was gonna tell you. I went to an event just recently with one of my friends, this girl, she invited me to the event. I went to the event, it was called this thing with all lost people. And at the end of the day, the guy got up there and he just do you read the book Power versus Force? Power versus Force?
No.
So it's a great book by David R. Hawkins. Patrick and David puts it up there, but he put it up there. And the guy, I don't think he's trying to do anything bad, right? I think he was really trying to help people. But for me, as like a believer, right? He kind of started talking about like Jesus not coming back and really started challenging beliefs. And I was like, why am I here? And then so many people from the event kept coming up and talking to me, and being at Food Church and my faith getting stronger, the Lord sometimes will put you in situations like that. And his whole therapy was to get people to talk, right? And help them do it. But at the end of the day, they're doing deep breathing yoga, which led to, do you know what mediums are?
Right.
Mediums? Do you know what that is? Mediums?
No, but I know the yoga and the breathing.
Yeah, yoga and breathing is good, but then it gets in a point where they were doing deep breathing, and then I was actually laying there, and my mom passed away, and you start seeing purple lights, and I started to hear from my mom, right? So it's almost like talking to the dead.
Right.
And like that's like demonic. Like at the end of the day, like you're touching a different realm. And just recently, right where we're at, I did a workshop here, and there's this guy who teaches masculinity, and we went out, he's like, hey, I want to go to dinner. And he did, do you know what ayahuasca is?
No.
So it's a legal drug, okay? But my point in saying this, it's a legal drug where you can trip off. But no, it is. But here's the thing, I didn't know,
cool,
and I did Reiki healing and all that, but he wound up having a bad trip on a mess in his intestines. He wound up seeing like demons, right? He told me this right over here, right down here in Midtown, right? And
I think I know what you're talking. I think I know what you're talking about. I read about it, like the experience, like of death, maybe.
Yeah. So it's like But my point is saying that so many people get lost and they look for answers, right?
Right.
And so it's like, what do you do for therapy? Well, share your story, but like at the end of the day, either I believe it or I don't. And if we all die wherever we go, right? Like that's the end goal. Then like I believe Jesus is the answer.
Right.
So I watched this guy. And I've watched this all the time, and I don't mean this in any bad way, but I've seen so many people use Jesus as a curse word, and I watched this guy try and like tear down the name Jesus, right? Like, but in like such a way, like he's not coming back, we can be gods, right? And like the biggest thing why I didn't run ads for myself was because ego, right? Ego's edging God out. Ego, everybody's got one, right? But like, and especially in this whole branding and marketing world, so messed up, but I went home that day, paid off my credit card, and started running ads because I was like, there were so many lost people. And to his thing, I don't think he thinks he's doing anything wrong, but like he was selling his 40K mastermind at the end, right? Okay. How much is that worth to you? There was the lady who literally saw her mom or whatever from it in the medium stuff, right? I know people do that, but it's like, it's dangerous. She's like, oh, I'm from Alabama. She's like, this is stuff from the devil, but it feels good. And then he goes, the devil feels good, right? And they laughed, and I'm just like, yo, where am I? You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day. So it made me, and by the way, if you see his content, he's a bigger brand than me. He is in his own way, but I believe there's a spiritual warfare that nobody talks about, right? We've seen cartoons with the devil on our shoulder. So like I've gotten more evangelical, more bold about this because at the end of the day, like with the whole world going crazy, right? Like it's either godly or ungodly, right? You see that, right?
Like you cannot fear a gray, either white or black. That's it. Yeah, either like divine or you're not.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at more now. In that is really just putting the Lord first in everything I do, knowing that all my God-given gifts of like marketing, copy, like at the end of the day, we sell courses online, right? Sell knowledge, right? To do that, we help people tell a story, which is outliving story because people have a belief that nobody cares. So they're like, why would anybody care about my story, right? So they get insecure. So we build the confidence that, no, your story matters, right? Which is also your testimony. Then build your offer. So God's given you a gift. He's given you a lot of gifts, by the way. You're very talented. Like there's most people will hit me up to a podcast and I'd say no, but I know your heart and know how good you are. So God's working with you. And I don't think you even realize as much. Like you were special. When we were on that call with Art, I was like, I love this guy. I was like, he's the Tony Robbins of this. Like you have that caring heart like I have, you know?
Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah.
So I think I really respect that about you. Like when you're sharing your story, you say like exactly how it happened and how that affect you. And you also like, when talking about like how some people judging you and how people like, because you're always active, you're always like on motion, you're always going, you're always making videos like. And I mean, even on your relationship part, and that's why, I started my conversation with that because I see a lot of men, like they carrying their pain, they're refusing to go to therapy, they're refusing to share their story, they're refusing to heal. And I think I'm one of them, like at the first when I feel like, yo, I'm just mad, but I didn't know why. And after like working on it, I realized like there is a lot of me around me, and I just respect that you get the power or you made that step to heal yourself because you are a different person right now. Like you're doing so much different. And I think that's the power when you change and you change to better, and the intention of the change is to help, not just to create wealth or to create money.
Yeah, it's really to help, transform. And by the way, so how are you now? Like you're better and past it, you're not as angry anymore? Or?
I think I'm like, today I'm like ready, I'm the best version of myself so far. Yeah. Every day I work on myself to do better. I mean, we have to first realize the problem to figure out the solution or to come up with it. And that's what I'm grateful for. I know what is my problem, what the pain that I have. And then, as you say, like Tony Robbins, I went to UBW. I went to Money Master the Game. And I mean, Business Mastery, he has like a Business Mastery seminar, and we went to like 10X. And all these places was for me is just to realize my way to heal, because I also believe in God like 100%. And I think this is the only way. If you don't believe in it, it's just hard to feel you support it. You're going to get tired by yourself, you know? But when you adapt to higher power, that's when I think you always support it. But I want to, like, this podcast is about you. It's about, after you
I make it about other people too. Like, you know what I mean? I appreciate that.
And I care. But the people today, man, that's why this podcast, I'm bringing great people like you, because people, they don't want to listen just to me. They want to listen to different experience. And I believe in your experience. I believe in your products, and I believe in what you're doing. So I want to open that light for other people also So why you choose to do the online business? Like, why you choose to do online? There is a lot of opportunities.
So you know who Andrew Tate is? Mm-hmm. So Andrew Tate, hater like the guy. I know a lot of people say whatever they can. He has Hustlers University. Have you ever been in it?
Right. No, I've never been.
Okay, I have, because I build online courses. Right. It is literally one of the best. People want to get mad at me. They update it for ADD. They have the little things. Andrew, he's actually here in Florida. I might have him on my podcast. Try and get him on your podcast.
That's powerful.
I'll see if we can make that happen.
Came back here?
Tate. Yeah, you didn't see that?
No.
He just landed. He's with, do you know who Justin Waller is?
Right.
So he's my neighbor. He lives right over here.
God, dude,
yeah. So I Justin Waller, you're going to come on my podcast too. They're cool dudes. Like, I like them. And I understand
like too.
a lot of women get very mad about that because they think, you know, but whatever, man. Yeah. But then in the day.
I mean, every successful people has a.
So here's the thing. Online businesses is like the next thing. When I used to be a teacher, it was very natural for me. I taught to be a coach or teacher, as crazy as this is, there's no certifications, which is why there could be so much that. And if you learn marketing, there could be so many scams, which I get, but you only have to be one step ahead of person, right? So we're doing an AI boot camp coming up soon, right? And within our mastermind, and we're just like a couple steps ahead of people. And then we're going to partner with people, right? So like, I saw, like, my first course I taught online was the health diet, the how diet. Health over wealth, to get a 10-day cleanse in and hold people accountability. Because any coaching program, you need 4 things. You know the 4 things? You need focus, an action plan, execution of the action plan, and then accountability. What we all would pay for, no matter what, is any coach, fitness coach, is accountability, right? So to get that in a community and have people keep each other up and do like an IDS, you know, identify, discover, and solve, and the date you're going to solve it. Doing things like that will help you. Like, that's what we do within our community, right? Is we want people to really just progress, right? That's why Progretta became one of the softwares that I became affiliate for, and then I consulted it for equity, because it means we progress daily, right? That's powerful. So yeah, so
you choose online business because you believe in the future more than what's going on right now. Because I mean, right now, growing with you, like you're just saying about AI. I mean, AI is the future, and people, I think, they still live in a past right now.
No, we have an AI agency. If you follow CLC Help, it's an AI agency. And if you go to getclc.com, it says AI, automate, and delegate, right? So my jam is webinars, right? Because in a webinar, you can basically get brand new. We have an automated webinar right now that if you go to my bio, you can see it. It'll tell my story, I'll build an offer, and it'll make connections right now. With AI, you can actually use AI. My second course I taught was how to prospect online. Okay, I teach them my mastermind. People still, I was at church today with a girl. She started a little network marketing company, which I love that because the network. And she's like, yeah, I need help prospecting. I'm like, oh, here we go, you know? So, online's busy, but like everybody should be using ChatGPT or Gronk. We're now using Gronk and loading everything into it. But you should tell it everything. Like, I tell it about everything. I tell it about this girl, I don't know if she's playing me, blah, blah, what do you think? I literally tell it everything. So there was a point where I get where people were like too worried to put everything in there. But they
already know everything, though.
They already know everything. Yeah, exactly.
So
and it's such an advantage. Like, I have Shalom, who's my HR girl, Nathaniel, can. So I put all their titles in. You know how to click custom and put them in and load it in?
Right.
So I load in. So I'm set like tomorrow or tonight when I do a Loom video for my team, I'll just be like, please send the assignments for today. This is what needs to be done, etc. This is our revenue targets for the thing. Please assign the thing. And it'll sign the task for me. Like, I'm horrible at that, right? That's why I hire people. So it's a great assistant to have. You should totally use it as much as you can. And then obviously there's more, Zapier and all the big, like, Canva's now loading AI. We have on our website the top 6 AI tools we're using in our business. And because AI tools come, we update it all the time, because you can just build
and that's something I think make your movement special, because I think you're always up to date. Like when school come out,
marketing,
when school come out, I mean, I think you are the second guy I see on my IG, like he's talking about school. I'm like, yo, I just seen school yesterday.
Well, so Hermosi,
shout out to Hermosi, man. He's doing wonderful.
Everybody, actually, this guy Jod, I got to give him credit. He told me to come to school first, and I looked at school because I did a Sam Owens course back in the day. Sam Owens.
So you like school?
I do. I really love school. I have a school. I built out people's school platforms too.
Right.
I think it's awesome because Hermosi is running so much traffic to it.
Yeah.
Unlike Facebook groups, which there's a billion users to, it's an off-platform with no ads.
Right.
And I love school. I really love school. We have a school. We actually are now building out a free school community. Because how you want to do the school game if you want to win, you want to build like a free one that people come in and then they get the value and then pay, especially if we're doing cold traffic ads,
That's true.
So we have
why you believe
in
marketing so much? Like why you always talk about marketing? Why you always want to help people with marketing? What's marketing means to you though?
So marketing storytelling, right? All marketing storytelling. It's like if you go to a funnel and you read it, it's telling the story of the buyer so they can buy, right? And what do I love? Telling story. I love people telling their stories. So I generally love marketing. I knew how hard it was for even me. Like the fact that you're even coming here to do this, nobody wanted to talk to me. I was coding software and a geek back in the day. So I'm so blessed. That's why I like Gary Vee. Gary Vee is great. You ever meet him in person?
No, not yet.
Awesome guy. He's like me. Sure. Okay, me and Gary Vee are very like he's very open. Great energy, and he's also he's just a real guy, and like that's the biggest thing. Is I love helping people tell a story. I know how it is to have anger where you're at and feel like nobody cares and feel not to break through the noise. So if I can help you break through the noise like I've done and get on stages and empower people with your story, that's my biggest belief. Angela Duncan, who owns Empower Her Money, she's one of my clients. The fact that when she told me she got paid for a $5,000 coaching paid speaking gig and she was out there and the whole deal, and it started as a pipe dream, and then we did our whole women's event and everything. That was awesome. There's a new client I just signed, the Healthy Longevity Clinic that I said. This guy Alberto, he's a doctor. I was on a call with him the other day. Guy was suicidal, didn't want to live, mental, started studying about his body, right? And then found out that found when you start eating stuff, you feel better, right? And then one of his patients went to this clinic in Prague. So he just got obsessed with it, and now he started a longevity clinic, and now they brought me on to help them get their story known. And like nobody knows them right now, and like I want them to be known because like they're really changing lives. Like I asked him, what do you do? He's like, I change lives. I'm like, well, that's what it's all about,
That's right. So there is, I'm really inspired of that, and I think a lot of people will. But I know there is a lot of money happening, right? You made a lot of money, you lost a lot of money. I mean, this is how entrepreneur life. So what money means to you right now?
So money is always energy. It's a tool, right? But money is everything because I mean that in a different way because you can't do anything without money. You can help more people with money, right? Like I just sent money back home to my dad and I wish I could send him more. You know what I mean? And I've always given money, to my dad for my whole life. Like after my mom passed away, I would always send him money. I got on a loan for him. Like, dude, we didn't have money in our family, like, at all. Like, I didn't realize it, but we were broke, man. Like, when we weren't broke, but yeah, we kind of were. Like, shared the room. My dad was always pounding the table because there was not enough money, Like, that's really what it came down to. The house was getting foreclosed. There was notes we got. So I never wanted to live like that, I didn't want my family to live like that. And I think that's what it is. Patrick David says that there's three things with your dad. You wind up idolizing him, demonizing him, and then I forget the third thing. Do you remember?
Yeah. You have to be like, and he's in the last stage right now. He brings his dad everywhere though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. I really respect this man a lot because even when, I like how you bring his
and that's
dad.
why I want to bring my dad down here. I love my dad. I wouldn't be anywhere without my dad. He's great. I love him.
I believe you will, man. I believe you will.
My dad's working really hard right now. So I want him to work less hard, but proud of him too. But yeah, money is everything. And I want to say that in a good way, because if you have a good heart, then and you have all the skill sets of communications, like, the 4 levels of value.
Of course.
So what are they?
The 4 score of value?
4 levels of value.
Tell me about it.
So implementation is the lowest level. So this came from Myron Golden. Implementation is the lowest level. When I worked at Wendy's, okay? Right. I'm making the burgers, implementing. Made 20K a year. Management, whenever I worked somewhere, I wanted to be the best. I wanted my picture as the GM of Wendy's, right? That was my goal. Back in the day, I've kind of crushed that. But they make 40K a year. But if I was a manager of like an airplane company, they pay well, you get 240K a year, right? So management, you manage implementers. Okay, that's the second level. Third one is communication. So this low ticket salesperson gets paid 100K a year, right? Speaker gets paid a lot of money. Actor, musician, communication, right? The last level is imagination. So that logo, Change Life Consulting right there, that was imagination, okay? I know I have 6 other coaches. I have people who've paid for that logo. I built out the systems. Like, I had everything that people have bought. That is my favorite thing, because people are like, hey, we believe in the mission. We're going to do this so we can go help change lives, right? That's but that was imagination. To do that, it came from the imagination. I had to hire communicators, salespeople, and then I need managers like Shalom, and then I need implementers like Lyndon,
I think this is a great step. I mean, a lot of people moving like step to the step, but I believe there is a lot of people stuck in the first one though. Like, they don't even step out of it. And I think this is when people, I believe they think in lack. I think when you're working for money, you cannot go higher than your energy, because if you're working for it, it's always going to run away and it's hard to elevate. And
in my book, I say keep putting value. And when you look past, like, you should always have a target. Okay. You're not going to hit a target. It's not bad to have a money target, but it's better to have like a mission target that quantifies the money. Does that make sense? Right. Because like, I remember writing it's the online business blueprint book, or we have the ultimate guide to personal brand. And in it says basically that when you look past and you just keep giving value, you'll be way past any of the goals. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I think, because like, when you're working on the employer level, which is, I have respect, but at the same time, it's where you take and you're not giving. Like, you're working to take. You know that you're going to take this amount of money in the end of the month. But when you on the imagination level, which is the creation, I believe, I call it, that's when you create from within to the outside. So everything coming from the end, like even the phone, all this creation happened from the within to the outside. It's an idea that somebody manifested and was able to work on it. And I think this is the higher level when a human can operate on. And so how, and from all this like journey all the stages that you've been and all this experience that you have, what's your biggest takeaway? Like, what's your biggest?
Well, so do you know the DISC score, DISC? You know what that is? So it's 4 people. So in everything, my biggest takeaway is God gave us all gifts. Okay. Right. And like, some people, maybe you're in a job right now, they're in a job. You only think like, oh, I can only do more, but you have a God-given gift inside you that if you don't do, and this is why one of my friends, they did a personality test, right? Which is kind of what the DISC score is. Right. And D is dominant, like Trump, he's dominant, right? He's going to go out there and it's a high D. Grant Cardone, dominant, okay? I'm a high I. I'm not as dominant, but I'm inspiring, okay? Right. S is supportive, and C is calculated. That's your engineer, the guys are in there. Some of those people might make better workers, but like, to build this whole business or to create the iPhone, you need everyone a person of it. So if you can get someone like a visionary, like the Lord's made me a visionary, to sell the vision and get everybody into it, they feel like they're common goal. That's when companies work well together, when everybody, like what I do for consulting is I go in, I'll do the DISC test, I'll realize where people are, and I'll put them in their God-given gift. Because when they are, then they feel like they're contributing. How God made all of us, we like, why we get depressed is we feel like we're not producing.
Right.
When we feel like, and you know, we've had great days when we crush it. It's because we feel like we're living up to our, like what God called us to do. That's my biggest takeaway is that so many people get stuck, and I don't demonize anybody for taking a job or anything like that, but just know what your God-given gift is and give that gift to that job that you're working at all the way through, you know?
I agree with you. One time I heard Tony Robbins also saying it, I think in a different way. He said every business needs like a visionary, manager, and a builder.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think I am like, also, I'm very blessed. I'm grateful that I have the visionary level. And it's hard for me to actually manage. I'm great at building too. You know, we have to
hire a VA. Do you have any VAs?
Yeah, this is what I did.
They're the best. In the Philippines, Shalom, I couldn't do anything without Shalom.
Right.
Actually, I was on a mastermind called Pastor David. He said, hire a chief HR officer.
I have one in Egypt, to be honest.
Egypt, Shalom's going to get mad at me. Yeah. But I wanted to. Do you know Carlos Reyes?
No.
So he has a VA company in Egypt. And sometimes like the best part about being a business owner is not taking all the business. Saying, hey, we don't do that well. Like no offense. And this is, we have a VA company. We keep it internal right now. But we don't really specialize in cold calling. Okay? Right. Egypt has great cold callers. They have great English there.
And they have they sell you anything. And I love that about them. And that's what we're building right now. I'm building a great team. It's going to be awesome. No, I'm building back in Syria.
Oh, Syria. Okay.
Because I'm from there.
Okay,
and the situation just changed. And actually, I'm working on a big team, but it's going to take 3 to 6 months.
How is Syria now? Do you go back there at all or no?
No, I'm not actually. I'm just building what I can. I want to give back, as you always know. I love to give back, but personally, I really enjoying the journey here. Yeah. I love a lot of.
How long you been here?
8 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I just came in 2016 though, and no English, no money, nobody, and just and I feel that's why I feel I'm really blessed. I feel like going through all the stuff, and I believe learning English and going step to.
Dude, you speak perfect English too. You're inspiring me. See, this is why. By the way, you said don't turn about me. I do this to everybody. Like I was on Cooking Up Success with this other podcast I was on, right? And I have the Make More Money podcast. When I was on there, I asked the guy about his story. I get inspired by stories. That's what dude, that's crazy. 2016 came here, nothing, and now all this, you're traveling around doing everything you're doing now, you know?
That's all the glory to God, man. I think as you always say it, I think I have to do that because my people, or the people who think that it's the end of it, I think they have to know there is more to do, and there is, as you say, the power within you. If you don't realize that you're lost, people, I feel they even that's something about my brother. I think 2 weeks before he go, it's crazy. He said man, listen, I don't want to I don't want to live no more. He was in a hard time with his a girl that he also was about to get married.
Same thing.
And he got in a really hard time. And I'm like, bro, what's going on? He's like, man, I just don't want to live no more. I'm like, man, don't do that. Just relax. And then in July, the 27th of July, 2012, he's like, I'm going he was going with his friends to a coffee shop. He's like, I will be back in 30 minutes. And he didn't come back yet. Oh. And that was challenging because I'm like, the 30 minutes is finished and he didn't show up. And he was my best friend though. So that's what actually I believe, if he know what I know today, I think he will not go. I know everything is running. I respect that. I
feel like you're my brother because right there, that's exactly what I say about my brother. Your story is very similar to me.
And I think that's why I relate to you though. That's why we relate. And I think it's everything going on. I respect God and He's willing. All the stuff is respected, but I also know that there is a level that we have to just unleash the power within. You know, and that's what I think. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I think there is somebody who could maybe listen, and I'm interviewing great people like you because I think we all have this message. And if somebody get it, he may live another month, or a year, or maybe his family will be better. So. There is a challenges also on the way, right? I mean, we all go through it. So what's your biggest challenge on this journey, brother?
Biggest challenge is, my ego. A lot of times ego is fighting it out. So many times I think I get mad and I want to prove people wrong. Mm-hmm. And I get a big driving over that. Tell me I can't, watch me. And that's such a negative energy. I watch how Tim Tebow does it with such love. And I want more of that. But sometimes it's I need a girl to break my heart to be watch me go be the richest man in the world. Right. Go date the guy with the Lambo, watch me do it, right? True. So I think that's it too. But you said it, all glory to God. Like literally, if I know that like even the lungs of my breath, whatever I say, that the Lord's giving me this is my God-given gift. Like sports players do it all the time. Oh, I got to give God all the credit and praise. Because if you don't do that, you become a God. And when you become a God, you become like George Soros, all these guys here who take across the world in the worst way. So I think that's it. It's like fighting out, because as you get some sort of fame or success that people see, you know, the Satan will give you like the pride, right? Like, oh, take it all. You get more temptations. So having, you know, brothers around who are stronger will keep you in, right? Cut out any vices, right? We all have vices in there. That's
so how you deal with it? Like how, like for me, let's say anger was like really bad in my life though. And I think anger, as we all know, is like a negative energy and it's not divine at all. So it takes me like I went through.
Can I tell you how it helped anger?
Yes, please. How you move
So we all have rules in life, okay? So, like, if you're driving in traffic and someone cuts you off, you get mad. Your rule is they shouldn't cut you off. Okay. What makes me not as angry is I just have less rules. Got it? So, like, why you get angry is you have rules of how, principles, how you think it should be. Now, don't get me wrong. Something like sex trafficking or anything like that, my rule is like, that's evil. I'm going to like get angry about that, right? There's a righteous anger. And then there's just anger about rules. So just have less rules. Like at the end of the day, like if you came in here or like this guy, like the rule here is they close this place at 10 o'clock, right? Like I can get mad that they're kicking us out now, right? But I'm like, nah, it's their rules. It's cool. You know what I mean? Sometimes I stitch up, he's doing his job. You know what I mean? Good for him, he's in here, right? And I get some of these guys in trouble here. That might get me to move. By the way, shout out before midtown. I might move at a different place when they stay up later, you know?
So okay, before we go, like it's because this is crazy right now. It's how, like after like listening to you, you said a lot of time, like there is somebody who broke your heart. So I want to like, if you don't mind, I want to just like talk about this one for 1 second.
Go ahead.
I think repeating this one, it could repeat the experience though. Like repeating the word all the time. Because I heard it like in this conversation, I heard it like 3-4 times so far.
Dude,
and I love you, bro. I love you like you're my brother though.
No, I love
and
that.
I really care about you. And I think you are like a leader right now. Like we went, like we've been in a state, let's say when we was acting like a kid's child, we're not adult yet. And right now when we become like the leader that you built in you and people looking up to you, I think there is no more girls that can or have the power to break your heart if you don't allow her though. But I think you saying that again and again, it could be something that you're attracting without you even know.
Dude, you're 120% right about this. Actually, it's so funny because this conversation just happened to me where I was actually telling someone, hey, you're saying a lot. And they said, but you're saying this. So by the way, I appreciate you as a brother.
No, I appreciate you.
I know.
Thank you
you saved me. The one thing that's missing, no, totally. And I won't do that anymore. It's all a thing. The one thing that's missing, Patrick knows. Do you see the video of me and Patrick saying, hey, this guy's going to get married, right? That's the one thing that I'm probably the most scared of right now is getting married. So I keep playing this story in because of my brother. And I'll tell why. And this is why I'm going to VOOC here and all this stuff. I watched my brother and just like that marry the wrong girl. So whoever it's got to be the right one.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
That's true. And that's to bring like a emergency state to our mind. And I've been through it. I've been through divorce though. And I did that because I have the wrong knowledge, wrong like roadmap to have a happy marriage. I don't know how to do that. I was afraid and just in the state, she did it. Oh, maybe she would do it, you know? So I was always waiting for something to happen to prove that's what I'm thinking about is correct. And when I realized that, like you're creating experience that you don't even need in your life. And I'm really grateful. I have a beautiful wife right now. We have a great relationship, but my level, I think what I learned from this experience is like our world is our reality. It's already happening everywhere we go. So we have to take this initiative. And I don't believe we can go to any relationship before we heal 100% of that. Because if we already have the energy, we already in a place where we attract somebody to hurt us, not to support us. And I think a man like you, because we believe, like I know that Phenomen is where you heal yourself. That's what, Phenomen is a place where the man heals, like the earth. And I think you deserve to like have somebody that's really elevates.
No, I appreciate that. That'll get me to the next level. That'll change my life. And because of that, I'm going to watch that back again for that set of people. Thank you, brother.
Man, you learn a lot on this journey, and I'm proud of you, brother. So we talk about the challenges, right? And that's, I think, where a lot of people stuck in at. So now we're talking about the power, right? What is your superpower today?
Superpower is vulnerability. Like
Right.
even right now, when you said something, and it's self-awareness all the time, right? Like how you get there, and by doing that is knowing that like you're never gonna know it all, right?
Right.
You're gonna know stuff. You're always gonna need people, right? Like I have one of my coaches right now. He's like no vices, no alcohol, right? His name's Mo. I'll give him a shout out, Mohammed. Great guy, awesome guy, genius guy. He doesn't want the credit, right? He's like that. So he's such a leader. He just got engaged too. But he holds me accountable on stuff like that. And like, you need people like that. Like people who care about you and hold accountable of that, and to be self-aware where they can speak the truth in love.
Right.
Just like you did here, right? Hey, I see you doing this. Don't do this. Out of love. Those people I'll run through the wall for, you know? So that's a superpower that I think anybody can add in by being self-aware. To knowing that, yes, God's given me gifts, I invest in myself, I can do this well, but what can I do well? What do I need? What do I have? Okay, we can do this, let's do this. Hey, and then very soon, I get married, I have kids, I invite you to my wedding, I give you a shout out at my wedding, like I can already see that.
I'm going to speak there too, you know?
Yeah, speak there too. Yeah, exactly.
That's powerful, man. I mean, to be honest, it's like people on the top, they collaborate. On the bottom, they compete. Right, and I think like as leaders, we have to keep ourselves, each other accountable. And if you're not in the best version of yourself, you're not gonna help me. You're not even gonna be good enough to help you and me. So the better you are, the better we are, and that's what it takes. It takes just for you to be good, so you can help people as much as you can.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing now is like realizing that. Like now, this was me just documenting my journey. Like I never meant to get to this part. Like I literally was like, I want to build a coffee shop under my brother. I'm gonna record it. You can go back to my YouTube channel. So I don't care if anybody follows along. I really don't care if anybody follows along. Like I really don't. People always get mad at me. Like, man, you should have more views. You should have more likes. I don't get caught up in any of that. Like literally, if you do good by business, word of mouth is the most powerful thing. Right. Yes, social media. You're silly not to be on social media. Like I generally help people, but I hire people to help me with my brand. Right. That's why we're doing the whole scale your brand. We're doing 8-figure brand loading. You know what Mangazi is? Mangazi?
Yeah.
So we're doing, it's going to be really cool.
It's really great though.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool actually.
That's wonderful. So your superpower, I see one of the superpower that you are able to keep going with all the situations that you face. You don't allow them to stop you. Like, as you say, watch me, I'm going to do it. So even on a panic mode, you keep going faster, you know?
The day I got wiped down for 0 in Colombia, I called my dad back, and my dad goes, Jeff, sounds like you're doing cocaine, right? Because I lost my voice. Because I literally got into sales mode because I needed to save my business. Dude, and nobody was saying, desperate sales is the worst way to go, okay? And it wasn't until Maritza Garcia, she's one of my coaches, she saw my face and I told her, and she was one of the ones who really took my licensee seriously. And I said to her, she's like, what do you need? Her, and I said this before in a mess here, one of the guys in my inner circle, he bought me my ticket to go get an award and speak at the LA Style magazine event because all my accounts were wiped at 0. And do you ever see the movie It's a Wonderful Life?
No.
Oh, great movie by George Bailey. And he basically has all these big dreams like I do. Like I want to build a coffee shop. And he just goes around helping other people all his life. And Clarence gives him, it's a great movie, Clarence gives him what it looks like if he was never been born. Because he wished I'd never been born. And they show him that like his wife just goes into the library and nobody's around because he impacted so many people. And then at the end, when he's about to lose everything, everybody brings a little money to him. And then they go, George Bailey, the richest man in town, because everybody came together when they realized George is in trouble, he needs help. So it's so funny because I'm getting emotional because of everybody that I've helped. If I ever got in that situation I needed help, I already know that's what happened. When I was authentically honest, right? And at first I said, I lost everything. I don't have anything right now. It's from Maritza. Maritza goes, how much do you need? I'll send you money. I believe in your mission, what you're doing. And dude, and then Angela, I told her my situation. I had 250K clients at the time. I gave him an offer. Thanks to my buddy Arturo, who I was staying with, he showed me how to position it. And she wired me 30K. And then because of the grace of God and her, and then I'm at VU Church, worshiping with her the next week, right? And they're doing a sermon, gotta get my money right? And be a steward. So this whole journey has been orchestrated by God. And like even whoever the woman is, it'll be given to me by God, by me doing the work.
That's
there,
right.
You know?
That's right. So I have a question. The question before the last one.
Okay.
Skill or mindset? What do you think you need? What you think?
Mindset first, right? Because you don't have a mindset, you won't believe you have a skill.
Right.
Right? Is that?
I believe though.
Yeah. Right.
I believe, yeah.
So there was actually
Money or time?
What?
Money or time?
Is that the next question?
No, that's a question.
So time, man. You know, right? Time. This time's important. Like
Yes. You can make money with time, but with money you cannot buy time.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we'll never get this time back. Thank you for your time coming out here, doing this, driving all the way out. You know what I mean? Like that's I value people's time a lot, like a real lot. You know, because that's your life. You know.
Right.
But yeah, there was a girl just now. She has a lot of skills, but her mindset. I was trying to help her. She can't realize that she has a skill set, so she says blockage, right?
Yeah.
So
again, you can't create good people. You find them.
Yeah.
So even like whoever you meet, if they're not really great, and there is a book today.
I think you attract them too. Don't you agree?
Yeah. The good people you attract them, but you can't make them. You can't find them. You know, you will find these people.
Right. Yeah.
But you can't create like people who has a bad mindset. They will not change for you.
Yeah.
Because they already been comfortable and they lived there for a long time.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what they choose in life. You know. So that's why Tony Robbins really helped me, because even your employee, if they really don't have like that driven, you're not gonna be able to. You can coach, tell them, but if they don't have the will to change and they really want to do it, I don't believe they will. So my last question: what's your message to the world, the people who are listening right now? What's your message? What you want to leave with them?
So as crazy, and this is newer for me.
Yeah.
Like, where are you gonna go when you die?
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's power.
Like that's it. Like at the end of the day, we live all this life to get these things, right? You have Wes Watson flashing everything out the world, and he's just as lost as can be. Like in a way, like I feel for him. Like all these other brands, right? And everybody, seeks God, but like, one person's gonna be right? There's all this stuff too, and like really, like that's really what matters, like
right.
the salvation of like. Of really what it is. There's God. I said it before. There's godly and ungodly. I'm on a new kick like that. Like no offense to Tony Robbins. I love Tony Robbins,
right.
But he got like more spiritual.
Right. Right.
And I just watched another guy get spiritual, and I don't want to do that. I was people were praying me over at Planted Men over here. It was a men's fellowship that I told you about.
Right.
And I'm scared. I literally am scared to go on this next level. Like I know I've got whatever it is, but I'm making very men, and they prayed over me for to be scared. Because I know when I step into what the Lord's calling me to do, there's going to be more attacks, spiritual warfare attacks.
Right.
So I need to stay stronger, right? Because if this was like, if you really believe what I believe, and there's all these, spiritual warfare, then of course, once you start getting good, Satan's going to try and pull you down when you're there, right? 100%. Because then it's destruction, right? So that's why it's really good to stay up in prayer. Really know that work out, my salvation with fear and trembling. The old me used to have all these punchy lines, inspire as always, right? And all that. And that's cool. But like, where I'm at now, like, I was with a lady, and she said, what do you search for in a girl? And I said, a woman who seeks God.
Wow.
And she said, no, what else? I said, a woman who seeks God. She said, no. I said, no, because if that's the case, I'm supposed to be accountable to him, and so is she, right? And if that's the case, like then we can be fully aligned, right? And she said, what else? And I said, doesn't have too many guy friends and doesn't drink, because it's never as good, I put a request in, So
that's true. Right. And I think you will attract her though. I mean, as you just said, we attract these people when we become them. Like we attract who we are all the time, and that's powerful. Jeff, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for the wisdom. Thank you for your energy. And I respect your journey, and I know that like what's coming next is something really big for you.
Yeah, so you as well, man. I love $1 billion. I'm great to meet a billionaire here. Yes, I love your respect. I love how just your demeanor, how you are. Whenever we do an event, this guy's gonna be speaking. I want Trisha. Do you know Trisha Cowan yet? Cohen? Yeah. She's one of the girls on there. You have to get on a call with her, but we'll make it happen.
Go.
Okay?
I'm ready. Let's get it. So, listen, I'm doing that for you. I know you need knowledge. The more you know, the more you do, because we do better when we do more when we know more. And I think you will do better when you know more. That you will have a better life for you and your family. This is why we're doing it. We're interviewing great people like Jeff for you to do it. And I believe that you can when you have the power, the will to do it. And remember, that's God first. And I will see you at the top.